Breaking this morning, tragedy at the Travis Scott Astroworld Festival. At least 8 people we know were killed at last night's concert.
It seemed like it happened with just over the course of just a few minutes. Suddenly we had several people down on the ground experience some type of cardiac arrest.
Gone on you with the pick and roll. Young flame here, sick on my. Let's go.
Now this is a compilation image that I made, I think back in 2013. There was a whole series of large booms that have been shaking different parts of the East Coast. So people were like, holy crap, man, what are these giant booms? Why is my house shaking? Why do I hear giant explosions under the ground? And a lot of the news agencies tried to call them ice quakes, saying that they were like ice under the ground that was like causing the ground to explode and make huge explosion noises, shake people's houses. And rightfully so. A lot of the weathermen at the time were saying, what the hell are you guys talking about? We've had cold weather on the East Coast for like 30 years of broadcasting. We've never had these booms or ice quakes before. So why was the media or the scientists so sure that that's what was causing it? So other people went into the history records and they found out that there was large booms in the past. Let's see if we can find them. Yeah, so what happened was there's large booms that were heard in the past just before the New Madrid quake went off. So that's why a lot of people back in 2013, they thought the New Madrid quake was going to go any day. But then for some reason it stopped. So some people are wondering what could have caused it to stop and why it's going now. Well, I think what the US's plan is they took out all the lubrication in between the plates of the New Madrid fault. So you can see here on the right hand side of the screen, we've got all the shale gas, or basically the fracking operations. And what they did is they took out all the oil, or not all, but a good chunk of it, so that these plates could no longer shift. So when those booms started happening and the earthquake wanted to happen, it got stuck because all of a sudden there wasn't any lubrication from all that oil from the fracking. So I think, oddly enough, the fracking might have actually delayed this earthquake by a decade. But now it appears that we can see here from IRIS that the New Madrid quake is no longer going to remain dormant, that it is starting to activate. It had a 4.2 magnitude quake. Whew. So yeah, if that means that it's starting to reactivate, usually how earthquakes go, I don't know, we can see if we got any big ones in the past. Normally when you have a really big one, what happens is there's a few smaller ones before, so that there's like at least a little bit of warning, and then the big one comes. Or sometimes it just goes right to the big one. So yeah, so let's look at the Sandwich Island one. So you can see the Sandwich, or the Philippines, the Sandwich Island region. They had little smaller quakes, and then boom, all of a sudden the big one happened, 8.1, 7.5. So let's pray to God that this is not what's going to happen with the New Madrid. Because if you see a 4.2 here, that means there's a possibility we could have an 8 any second now. And why I'm kind of freaking out, I live in the devastation path. So if this earthquake actually occurs, boom, I'm directly affected by it. I know some people might be laughing their ass off. How the hell is the earthquake going to affect you in Canada if it's all the way down in the southern states? I'll show you why. So if anyone hasn't heard, the earthquake zone on the east coast of the Americas is actually way worse than the west coast. I'm not sure exactly the geology of it, but earthquakes that happen in softer rock usually dissipate quicker and don't go as far. But because we're on the east coast, we have a lot of granite, I believe, and that's why these earthquakes, when they happen, it's like 10 times the strength and magnitude just because of the rock type. So it's like you could have a 5 and it'll seem like a 10. So it's like if that's 6 in 1985 or 1895, it rocked all the way from the southern states and it was ringing church bells in Toronto. So that's only a few miles from me, about 100 kilometers. So I'm definitely within the path of damage here. Now here they were showing damage, and this was in 1895. So can you imagine what the damage is going to be like if this is in modern times compared to what it was then? It was a massive disaster back then.
Music doesn't play when I walk into the room. Time really is running out.